then it made a whole lot of sense. So now when I read it, I know what to look for, and again, I'll give you some of the clues as to what to look for about it. So 1,500 years ago, it surfaced actually about 700 years ago, and now it's available to all of us now. The Swiss psychologist Carl Jung says, this book reveals the secrets of the soul. He actually wrote the foreword for it. In, I think, this 1920s, an American editor translated it from the Sanskrit language into English, and he's the one that named it the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Okay, that's the original name. He calls it the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And he had Carl Jung write a foreword for it, and he said, this book reveals the secrets of the soul. By the end of today, I'm going to go through some of those secrets of the soul for you. Now, it starts off like this. You're going to see, because if you've gone through this whole group series or read the book wise, so much of the stuff is in there, and so it pulls it all together. The first paragraph of the Varda Total. O God, boundless light of reality, O loving fate, O loving and fierce celestial beings, angels and guides, O great spiritual teachers and saints, I acknowledge the oneness of the infinite potential. I acknowledge the oneness of the infinite potential. That's entanglement and superposition at the same time. It's a boundless light of reality. Everything is energy and we're vessels of light. It's all there. And it starts off with acknowledging this. Upon death, you're going to find that there's a boundless, limitless, infinite potential reality going on. Now, that's present for you right now. You just might not be aware of it. But over there, it becomes more clear. They say the bardo of the dying process, your mind becomes 9 times more clear than it is now. I don't know where 9 comes from, but also know it's a lot. Much more clear than it is now. And yet, there's still a lot of growth to go. So there's a lot of some similarities between what we talk about here and what goes on there. Now this big circle I drew, is called samsara. Who's heard that word before?
Can y'all hear this?
From me? Okay. What's it mean? The wheel, yes, it means the wheel. So this is a big wheel that I drew. When I spoke it into my phone once in a texting, I said samsara, the phone heard samsara, which is perfect, because that's really what it means. Some sorrow, although the book would probably emphasize a lot of sorrow, okay? But it's a good way to think of it. Some sorrow. It's a wheel, and it's a wheel that we're all stuck in, if you will. And you're going to be in it for eternity unless you figure out how to get out of it. This is the process of reincarnation, which we're going to go through.
Fuck out of here.
The whole process is involved that you're going to go round and round this wheel until you figure a way out.
Man, listen.
And it's the same way for everybody, which is sort of an important feature. We all got to figure our way out. And if you don't get out of it, you're going to keep going through sorrow.
Man, listen.
So it's an important feature to recognize the sorrows involved. Now, I've got a little section down here. This is the physical life section. It's where we are right now. It's a teeny little spot. It's relevant, not for this book, but it's relevant to us right now. You're going to go through some sorrow here. This is Buddha's first noble truth. Life is suffering. Go through some sorrow, right?
Y'all can hear this Heisenberg looking nigga? Can y'all hear this nigga right here?
Well, book starts with the expectation that you will have died, right? That's coming. Anybody surprised to hear that? You're going to be dying at some point. There's about 4 different phases that I'm going to go through with you today, primary phases or bardos as part of this wheel. And the first phase is, well, they're all interesting, but the first one is very striking and very dramatic and very important. At the moment that you die, or in the first few moments after you die, there's an opportunity for immediate liberation. That's because there's a spot, if you will, in this samsara, where this great white light appears. Now, if you've heard about people going through near-death experiences, they sometimes say they see a light. Well, 1,500 years ago, that's what the Buddhists were talking about too. There's a great white light. They call it luminosity, or ground luminosity. What it actually is your essence. It's the nature of mind. It's actually you. But if you didn't spend your time during your life learning to recognize that, because you spent time during your life thinking that you're physical, this is where ego comes in. If you think you're a physical being and you're all the isms, right? And if you think, I'm a white American male living in Pittsburgh kind of thing, and that's what I am, and that's what it's about, I'm not going to recognize this white light. And it's an important distinction because it's given to you immediately right there. I've heard it described as a flash of lightning. How fast does that go by? Right? If you don't know to recognize this, it goes by like a flash of lightning. And now you're going to go through the rest of the wheel. Okay? But if you recognize this as what you are, or as what the book describes, the self-liberating luminosity of your own mind. Self-liberating. Why self-liberating? Who liberates you? Just you, right? You've done it, you've earned it, and by the way, 7 billion people on Earth right now. Who does this apply to? All 7 billion, okay? It's why it's fair. Every single person has to learn how to recognize the nature of their own mind. It's self-liberating luminosity. And as you wake up, and as you start to wake up and have this luminous experience, the white light becomes obvious. First of all, you feel it inside of you, and then you'll know to recognize it. I've also heard it described as if somebody goes to shake your hand and you don't think it's a friendly person, you may not shake its hand or his or her hand. But if it's a welcome person that you're looking forward to seeing, you'll not only shake their hand, you'll give them a big hug. That's what this white light needs to be for you. You need to recognize it, you need to know it, you need to feel its peace, and you need to run into that light. If not, like a flash of lightning, it's going to go right by you, and the handshake gets pulled away from you, and then you'll miss it. What the Book of the Dead does is it's teaching you what to expect, and it's also, while you're here, it's going to be something we're going to talk about later, how to operate while you're here, but also what to expect later. Wake up! Now that's a good way to start this, because which Buddhist word means wake up? Buddha, right? The word itself means wake up. Wake up! And why is it telling you to wake up? Because you're asleep. Right?
Oh man,
wake up!
Crazy.
I have transitioned from physical life through bodily death to the point of spiritual awakening. Okay, you're making a transition.
That's actually fucking crazy.
It itself means wake up. Wake up! And why is it telling you to wake up?
That's actually fucking crazy.
If not, like a flash of lightning, it's going to go right by you, and the handshake gets pulled away from you, and then you'll miss it. What the Book of the Dead does is it's teaching you what to expect, and it's also, while you're here, it's going to be something we're going to talk about later. How to operate while you're here, but also what to expect later. Wake up! Now that's a good way to start this, because which Buddhist word means wake up? Buddha, right?
That's
the word
crazy.
itself means wake up. Wake up! And why is it telling you to wake up?
That's crazy.
You're asleep, right? Wake up! I have transitioned from physical life through bodily death to the point of spiritual awakening. Okay, you're making a transition. This is the Bardo, it's a transition. From this point on, I will awaken my spirit and my consciousness by contemplating the infinite potential of the spirit. I must meditate on peace and harmony and love and compassion. For the sake of all beings and all realities, I must remain centered in the oneness of the infinite potential. Once again, that's entanglement. We're all connected for the sake of all beings. If I do it, I help you. If you do it, you help me. We don't get out until we all get out. It's the basic idea. That's why all the prophets were working on this kind of stuff together. It's an important distinction. I'm connected to you, you're connected to me. I'm doing this for the sake of all beings, just as you are. Within this experience of infinite oneness, I will attain the supreme peace and harmony of the infinite potential, and I will accomplish the purpose of all beings. Because we're all going to get there. Very valuable. We're all going to wake up, and I want to do it, so I know how to help you do it, and vice versa. That's the point.
Said we
and
all
I'm not going to be satisfied until you've done it. I'm not going to be satisfied for a lifetime. So we'll keep going round and round this wheel. If I do not attain the supreme peace and harmony, then at the least, while I reside in the spiritual reality, I will recognize that I am residing within the spiritual reality. It's a nice way of being a little merciful, which is to say, if you don't figure it out, no big deal, at least you know you didn't figure it out, and now you're in a game somehow, right? It's sort of cool because it takes some of the pressure off. Because it probably sounds like a lot if I say to you, you better recognize this light, this luminosity. If you don't recognize it, boom, you're doomed for more sorrow. Believe me, to emphasize that enough throughout here. But if you feel that pressure, guess what? You're more likely to miss it. No pressure. Just recognize the light when it comes to you. It's so...
I mean, from what he's saying, we're all gonna wake up. And I think the ultimate goal is to return to source. I think we're all gonna... I don't know. That's a reach right there. I don't know. The only way out is in. Pause.
Liberating luminosity. It will rise before you, and if you recognize it, you are liberated. Dozens of times throughout the text it says that phrase. Recognition is liberation.
Yeah.
I want you to memorize.
It's awareness.
Recognition is liberation. Recognition and liberation are simultaneous. The whole point of the mind is to recognize the truth of what you are. That's
Facts.
it. There's nothing else that needs to be done. We're down here working on in the flesh world. We're working on all these things, trying to earn salvation, right? Trying to please God or whatever it is. And yet, all you needed to do, just like it says in Christian text, is to have the faith and to trust and to know what you are. That's
Right.
it.
Right.
No man shall boast. Same thing here. You're not going to do anything here. You're not even going to do anything here. Recognition is all you need to do, which is basically, I am the white light.
Mm.
By the way, we're going to get into this in a second, but there's a bunch of different colors, and there's a bunch of different types of white light.
Damn.
Bright lights, soft lights, that kind of stuff. This one is radiant and warm and inviting, but it's really intense. It's pretty similar to the sun. Most of us like the feeling of sunlight, but it's pretty hard to look straight into, right? A good metaphor. At any time that you have the recognition, liberation is yours. There's just more moments, there's more opportunities where there's more intense moments where you can figure it out. And when it's presented to you, when it arises right in front of you, recognize it. But then it's going to go hide again, if you will. Just like we go back and forth, I'm sure, in our own lives of moments of insight, and then we go fall back into the swamp of delusion. And then we have insight again, okay?
Does it really hide, or do we just set up a barrier?
Well,
Because
like I
we
said,
don't know to look for it,
it
right?
seems like it's hiding. Wait till you see the way this ends. It's beautiful. Because, yeah, of course it's not hiding. It's right here, right now. It's right in front of your face. But you think it's hiding. That's the way it appears. Phew. This is what's known as nirvana or heaven or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, you've escaped the wheel. That's it. And you can do that right now. Do you get confused as to where your home is currently? Okay, it's the same thing.
Not yet.
Not yet. A few years. When you recognize this is your home, what would you do? You walk straight into it.
Mm.
So it's like that. And then there is no need to come back, and yet you might choose to. There's plenty of text written about this text, of course, but the idea is, well, I call it tenure. Once you've done that, you got it. That's the point. That's liberation. You melt into the universe. What happens next? I don't know. I'm not out of it. I'm talking to you guys, right? So the fact is, we're supposed to get there, and then question mark. I don't know what happened. All I know is I want to get there. Okay, I think of it as a really good party. Let's meet over there. Okay. Otherwise, we're gonna have to do all the rest of this. It's like being lost in the woods. So you don't have to proceed, although you might choose to. But now you have some free will, as opposed to what's being forced upon you. The fact is, you're going to keep going until you have recognition, until you are liberated. It's Psalm 23. You are being forced to.
Yo, can y'all hear this? Like, can y'all hear the video? Like, is the audio working on this shit? Can y'all hear this nigga?
Down in green pastures and by still waters. You're being forced to recognize heaven. You're going to. Like Kabbalah says the same thing. It's the path of pain or the path of light. This is the path of light. It's a straight shot. Recognize it. Spend time while you're here figuring it out. You're not the ego. You are the light. And once you come across the light, which, by the way, is also known as logical and it's therapeutic. How's the light feel? What's that? Warm. What else? Peaceful. And so therapeutically, when you're feeling warm and peaceful, that's because you're in the right place. And if you're not, it's because you're not recognizing it. You're in an ego place. That's always consistent, always true, all the time for everybody. So if you fail to recognize that this is you, the luminosity is you, it continues. The path continues. And you move into this place where what gets presented to you are what's called peaceful deities. I spelled deity right. Did I spell it right? Close enough. Deities, peaceful deities. That's probably I-E. Yeah, right. No big deal. So I'm not clinging to specific spellings of things. It's all good. I've released it. Peaceful deities. That comes next. And the peaceful deities, the book actually describes experiences of.
I'm finna end this video and go fuck a midget. Can y'all niggas let me know if you can hear? Can y'all niggas hear what he talking about? I'm about to end this video and go watch a midget get fucked on Spank Bang. Can somebody just let me know? For the love of Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Like seeing rainbows and stuffed animals. It actually says stuffed animals and like, you're gonna see what's described as All random imagery from your former life.
That's why you coming
Okay?
back to this
Random
earth, nigga.
Imagery starts showing up, and it starts out as peaceful, which is to say pretty pleasant. And if you're experiencing something pretty pleasant, are you thinking of it as external or internal to you? Like say you're watching a movie that you like, or watching your child play or something like that. You're thinking
Out
your
here
kid's
trying
over
to
there,
fucking
and you're
help
not.
save niggas' souls and shit. What the fuck? I'm out here doing the Lord's work and shit. The fuck going on around this motherfucker, man? Shit.
Thinking that this is coming
Nigga
from my
gonna
own
come
mind
back,
somehow.
man. This nigga gonna come back in a wig.
But it's what you have to do. You have to recognize this as a projection. If you fail to recognize this as a projection, you have to continue to go on. But you see peaceful things, pleasant things. In the Course of Miracles, it talks about how you got to watch out for the good things that happen to you, because they're going to keep you stuck just as much as the bad things. You have to recognize that what you're experiencing in the peaceful deities aren't actually occurring. They're dreams, they're manifestations, they're coming from your own mind. And it's a pleasant experience, which is nice to have a pleasant experience. But if you don't recognize that you're dreaming it, because you're still asleep, then the wheel continues. Now, this can be challenging, because how many people are trying to wake themselves up when things are good? To me, this is the absolute essence of Jesus saying, blessed are the persecuted, okay? Because when things are pleasant, you're not like trying to look at it differently. You just experience it. This is great.
You're saying you are the light once you recognize.
Correct. You've melted into it. Now you've got what nirvana is. You become it, and it's what you are. It's being born again, all that kind of stuff. The issue and why it's drawn like this and why they explain it like this is because of yin yang and relativity. People are on different levels. If I explained it to people like you just said, they'd be like, wait a minute, you mean I'm already there? I don't need to do anything, or whatever. The fact is, it's a process of growth, and this is how we learn, by recognizing phases, the Bardos. It's literally transitions. We go from being a second grader to a third grader. You go from thinking that you're this, I'm white American male, to thinking, well, I'm not really a white American male, I'm having a white American male experience. The current culture, the mindset of our current culture, we've got all these people arguing and hating on each other.
Yo, that's what I'm gonna start telling racist people, bro. Be like, nigga, you not white. You having a white man experience. Fucking dumbass. I'm gonna start telling, yo, a racist person ain't gonna know how to respond to that, bro. A racist person ain't gonna, they be like, well, damn it, nigga. You didn't hit my third eye with a rock, nigga.
Shift roles, come back, and it's probably what happens the most.
You're having a white man experience.
You're gonna have a completely different experience. It's the process, because people who are hating on others are clearly not liberated, are they? They're not seeing white light. It doesn't look particularly peaceful to me.
That's wild.
So it's a process. Second grade, third grade, fourth grade. It's a process of letting go of something you've been clinging
That's
to.
facts,
when you were
though.
younger, perhaps letting it go.
That's
Forgiveness
facts,
takes
man.
care of that fairly well. And then there's a process of going, wait a minute, I'm not even a body. This isn't me.
Oh.
In the Christian teachings that we're children of God. Well, it's not this. It's not the body. It's the soul aspect. It's one of the secrets, as Carl Jung would talk about too, is you're not what you think you are. The entire wheel, all of samsara, all of the sorrow, if you will, is set up to create pain so that you can let go of the false self, which is what the ego is.
Damn.
That's the point. So it's a process, yes, it's always available to you. Just like sunlight is always available to you, but it sort of comes and goes based upon the time of day, but it's always there. So if you fail to recognize the peaceful deities are projections from your own mind, you move into the phase which is called wrathful deities.
That's hurricane.
I'm gonna spell it.
That's hurricane. That's hurricane.
And the same beings, deities are just higher beings, energy beings, if you will, that are
Projection.
starting out as peaceful, they become wrathful. Which is to say they're aggressive, and they become sort of angry and scary. At this time, when your spirit and body have parted ways, pure reality manifests in subtle, dazzling visions.
Dazzling is
Vividly
crazy.
experienced, okay? You're in a movie theater. You're like in a cosmic movie theater, excellent 3D, high def, right? And their movies, they're being Passed before your eyes, if you will. Some people have described, gee, my life passes before my eyes. Yes, random imagery from your former life start appearing. And they're intense, and they're vivid, and they're dazzling, and they're frightening, and they're worrisome. And they
Alright,
shimmer
man.
like a mirage in the desert. I
I'm
think
a grown man. You say the word dazzling. I'm a heterosexual nigga. If he say the word dazzling one more time, bro, I'ma find this nigga. I'ma do something to him.
this, and I do want to do this Disney World. I want to do a Bardo Dodal ride. Right? How great would that be? You know, the 15-hour wait it takes to get to the ride. It explains the whole book. And then you get on the ride, and sure enough, all these images start passing before your eyes. And they seem to be scary, but none of them can hurt you. It says that at some point in here. It doesn't matter if you get cut into pieces, none of them can hurt you. Because nothing can hurt the soul.
Fact.
It can only hurt the ego, or it can hurt the
Facts.
body, which you aren't. Do not be terrified. Do not
Pussy ass
panic. You now have what is called
ego.
an instinctual spiritual body.
Pussy
Not a material
ass
flesh and blood.
ego.
Thus, whatever sounds, lights, and rays may come at
Saying
you, they
sparkly
cannot harm you.
little motherfucker.
You cannot die. It is enough for you to recognize these experiences as a manifestation of your own mind. At some points, they describe that 50 murderers will be chasing them. Okay? And you're going to be freaked out. You're like, this is totally scary. It's like a dream state.
Yeah.
What else is like a dream state? This life right here, okay? It's a
Fact.
dream state. It's not actually happening. It's going to freak you out, and you're going to think you're dying, and yet you're not. Remember, this is red. I should have said this earlier. This can be studied now, so that when it comes to you, you're not shocked by it. You're like expecting it. Have you ever gone to a horror movie? And when the knife comes out and the person gets stabbed, are you shocked? What is this horrible imagery on the screen? No. Do you feel a little bit of fear? Sure. But do you know it's a movie? Sure. Well, the preparation for this stuff is to come when you recognize, because once you know you're a soul that can't be hurt, you'll watch all this imagery, you'll be like, whatever, no big deal. And if you get really good at it while you're here, you might even be nailed to a cross, and you might be able to just sort of take it.
Damn.
Because you know you're not getting hurt. Now, that's understanding of true self. That's liberation from ego.
Damn.
So, at this time, the great red wind of evolution will drive you from behind, fiercely, unbearingly, terrifyingly. Do not be afraid of it. It is your own hallucination. A frightening, thick darkness draws you from the form, irresistibly. You are terrified by harsh cries such as strike, kill. Do not be afraid of them. Heavy sinners will see cannibal ogres brandishing many weapons, shouting war cries, kill, kill, and strike, strike. If you read the Bhagavad Gita, it sounds just like that, okay? That the nature of reality turns out to be all this scary, evil stuff. Don't be afraid of it. Again, similar to what we're doing down here. A whole bunch of chaos is happening in the world. Are you experiencing it in a terrifying way? Or can you see it from a detached point of view and recognize what it is? You'll have a different experience of it as a result. You will be hunted by troops and blizzards and storms and fogs. You will hear sounds of avalanches and floodwaters, forest fires and hurricanes. In panic, you will escape by any means. So can you imagine? Does this sound like fun? When you're going through, it's just a movie, and you'll be running around, and because you're terrified, what do you look for? Remember, you don't have a body.
Look at this gang
Yeah,
stalking
I
us,
want
bitch.
out. Now, if I'm in a movie theater and it's freaking me out, what do?
Wow.
In the Book of the Dead, all these lights and all these colors, there's so
Hold on,
many
we gotta
doors
take
you
a
can
break,
escape
bro.
from, and each one of them is
Like, what kind of like cult is this where like all of these people with Jeeps have these ducks on their cars? Like, what kind of weird ass cult is that? If you buy a Jeep, you gotta put rubber ducks. Like, that shit is kind of borderline. Like, that shit is questionable. Like, if I used to want like a Wrangler or some shit like that. I'm not putting no fucking rubber ducks in my fucking car. I'm a grown ass adult. Like, I don't get that shit. What is that? What cult is that? That's weird. And it's every single fucking one, man. It's every single one. You want to talk about a monkey see, monkey do ass experiment? That shit is weird, man.
direct path into
The cult of Rubber Ducky. I gotta go on YouTube,
It
figure out
gives
what the
tons
hell
of
wrong with
advice.
these
Don't
people.
go to the red light. Don't go to the blue light. Don't go to the green light. And it says stuff like that.
Here this
This is the
bitch-ass
wisdom
nigga
light,
come.
or that's the anger light. You know, it's all the colors that we're used to here.
Piece of
And it says if they appear at any point, let's use color. Once you start to see these lights showing up, It warns you, don't go there. Because what's your job? What are you supposed to be looking for? Which light? Yeah. You start picking one of these colors, next thing you know, you're headed for rebirth. Now
See,
you can go get reborn as many times as you like.
now here's the thing, bro. And this nigga's a gang stalker right here. This nigga's a gang stalker right here. Whole parking lot empty. Why you next to me? Bitch ass nigga. But anyway, so that's the thing they told. That's one of the first things that I heard was don't go to the white light. And now this is down. This dude is saying go to the white light. And some people say like it's like a clear light or whatever. Look, I don't plan on being on this earth much longer, so I'm trying to figure this shit the fuck out. So we make the we make the best possible decision. So we don't have to, you know what I'm saying? So we don't have to ever do this shit, this raggedy ass shit again all over again.
Right? The Bible even says in Revelations, if you're looking back at the country from which you came, you'll have a chance to return. Straight up to me, direct, like you said with purgatory. It's the same sort of thing. You got a chance to come back. You can dive right into one of those lights if you want.
And the crazy thing is, bro, the craziest shit about this is, you know how many people, I wish we could get like a poll or a census on that shit. How many people in this world don't want to come back here? Who the fuck, unless you a fucking billionaire or some shit, right? One of these weird ass people that own everything. Bro, poor niggas don't want to. What are you talking about? If you've ever been poor in your life and still are, if you go to the gas tank and you can't afford to fill that bitch up, ain't nobody want to come back here and deal with that shit. I used to work at the gas station and a nigga would just hand me his card and just be like, fill it up. I'd be like, damn. Now that's a nigga. I felt like I'm like disrespected. I'm like, why you flexing on me, gang? I can't remember the last time I went to the motherfucking gas. Man, listen, bro. I don't know. I think 2 times my whole life, bro. You said $5 in my tank right now. Shit. $5 better make it work. You know that? That $5, that gas better be twerking in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a real conversation. Okay? My cap, where I max out, $20, nigga. That shit put me at half a tank. I ain't worried about gas for 2 days. What the fuck are you talking about? I feel like filling up your gas tank is a waste of fucking money. And it's kind of like, nigga, you know, you fill up your gas tank, that shit gonna last you the whole week. What if you die tomorrow? You could have used that extra money to buy some liquor or something. You know? Get you a happy ending.
All this, go ahead, escape.
Get your dick
You
rubbed.
don't get to escape the wheel until you are fully liberated.
Cost
by recognizing
$60 to
the
fill a
deity
tank
yourself.
up. You can pay $20 for gas. That'll get you to the happy ending spot. You gotta give her at least, I mean, shit. How much you gotta give her? I mean, I guess you gotta give her, you know, give her at least. If you bargain right, you can get away with $35. And then the other $5, you can get you a snack. Shit,
Right?
get you a snack.
Panic,
Get you
you
an
will seek
Arizona.
any means, only to stop short of
Get
the
you an Arizona, some jerky. Get you that protein back. You gotta get the protein back from the bitch that was rubbing on the dick.
brink of falling down a yawning triple abyss, red, black, white, bottomless, and horrifying. Hey, immortal one. Okay, it's trying to gently remind you, you're immortal. You cannot die. You who was called Scott. It literally has a blank. Because you can read this to a person who's died. Scott just dies. I'm saying, hey, Scott, don't forget, you're immortal. Don't be
And a
afraid.
honey bun.
It is not really an abyss.
Nigga, please.
It is your own lust, hate, and delusion.
Nigga, please.
See, if you don't resolve what's inside your head here, you're not going to recognize the luminosity. You're going to see the peaceful deities. Oh, this is pleasant. I like this. This is not. Oh man, this is scary
See,
stuff.
I
hate
don't.
this. And you didn't realize you dreamt all of it. You're not recognizing coming from your mind. You don't recognize it. It's your own.
And that's
issues.
something that I learned today. Yeah, these are a lot of this are these are gonna be projections that, you know, the things that we potentially see in the next realm, and it's like, if you're not privy to this information, that's why information is the greatest currency ever in whatever realm you in. But and this is why they don't teach us none of this shit, because they need us to keep, you know, recycling and shit like that. But I just was always taught, it was like, don't go to the white light. It was like, don't go to the white light, you know, doing research into this shit. Now this dude is saying go into that white light, Illuminati, whatever the fuck they calling it, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know. Now like, I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, somebody's lying, or is it all bullshit altogether? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Your own resentments, your own fears, your own impatience, you know, all the negative virtues, if you will, they have to be fully eliminated in order to create the white light. Buddhism has the word for it, it's called Dzogchen, which is actually the great perfection.
God, can you fuck off and go away, bitch?
So if you have an experience of it, like
Damn,
like an
bro.
insight, when you have an insight,
Want to
of
talk
anything
about the
else,
motherfucking Truman Show? I already know what's gonna happen every fucking second of my fucking day. I know every fucking light. When I get to the light, it don't matter how green that motherfucking light is. When I fucking approach the light, I know that light gonna turn red. 98% of the time. I know every time I pull over and just pull over anywhere in fucking life, nigga, within 5 minutes, 10 minutes max, a motherfucker gonna come sit right next to me in their car and just sit there and play on their phone and look stupid as shit. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that I just, like, you get so used to the pattern of dumb shit that's like unorganic, you know what I mean? You're just like, this is ridiculous. Yo, never in my fucking life have I ever pulled into a parking lot and parked directly next to a car, whether it was empty or somebody was in it, because I value my own space. I value my own space. I value my property being, you know, in its own area. You know, just like this morning when I was waking up, you know what I'm saying? I'm just waking up, and somebody gonna park right whole parking lot. I'm parked in the damn near in the back of the parking lot. Somebody gonna park right next to me and just sit in their car. I mean, that's what I'm waking up to, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm waking up to. And it's just so crazy, bro. It's so the craziest part about this like this theater and these attacks and shit like that is like, why do all of these people that you don't want anywhere near you, why are they always around? But the people that you want to be around you, the people that you want to love you and care about you, they're always missing. They're nowhere to be found. But the human fucking gnats, you know what I mean? The human mosquitoes and shit, they just never, you know what I mean? Like, they always just like on your ass, bro. Always begging for attention. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's fucking crazy.
it's like a little piece of the white lie. But perfection is when you're completely, now remember, I like to say this, which religion has the word perfection in it as its goal?
Fuck nigga.
All of them, okay? And yet we
Bitch
get
ass
taught,
nigga.
you
Look
have
at
to be
this
perfect,
bitch
just
ass
believe your
nigga,
prophet
bro.
was and you're good to go. No. Even Jesus said, you
This
must be
bitch
perfect.
ass
as your
nigga,
Father in
man.
heaven is perfect. You might get a little piece of the light, and you'll feel it for a moment, but it's elusive.
Hate these
Because you
people,
got some
man.
bugs to work out. I compare it to
Fuck
trying to
away
lose weight.
from me.
You want to lose 70 pounds.
Get the fuck
You lose
away
35,
from
you're
me.
halfway there. That's pretty good, right? But you're not done.
Lucky I don't have
Feels
that
good.
thing on me,
Losing under
bro.
20 pounds or getting close. So you got to get
God
rid of all that
damn.
70 pounds in order for you to be good. You want to be the perfect pure white light at all times. And that means you're able to go about in any circumstance. You're going to stay peaceful. It's called equanimity. Buddha says it. It doesn't matter what happens to you. You'll be in touch with the light. Jesus says if your eye is single, your body will be filled with light. I mean, you can see the teachings are parallel. Okay? He says if you could stay focused, and this emphasizes again and again and again.
This
stay
nigga
focused.
just drove around
This
in a
will fill you.
circle.
So how about this, man?
This nigga
If I
just
said to
drove
you you're a
around
cup,
in a fucking
You're a
circle.
vessel of light. And
This
you're only
nigga just
1/3
drove
filled with
around
the
in a
light.
circle.
You still got 2/3 more to go.
That's stupid.
But if I can get more light, now I'm halfway.
You just
That feels better.
stupid.
You're gonna keep going until you are perfect.
You just
perfectly filled with light.
stupid, bro.
And that means
Just
you have
dumb.
complete awareness that you're not this and that you're totally this. And that's the point. This is going to emphasize that. Because if you don't do it now, which is the point of being here, is to recognize that you're not this, that this is the soul. This will surely emphasize it as well. Because you're not going to like this. How many times do you want to do this? Yes. Because if you're able to resist, because it says the word resist a lot too, the intoxicating pull from like the soft blue light or whatever.
Listen,
And you're like, I'm not going to go there. To me, again, to read this correctly is to recognize what the Kabbalists or in Judaism would call mitzvah, or the other, the temptations of the mind, things that are competing with the white light. How many things on earth take your mind off the idea that you're supposed to be working on your spiritual development?
listen, bro.
Hey, look, there's a cheeseburger. Oh,
Hey.
look, some drugs. Hey, a football.
Listen, pussy and food, bro. I'm out. Listen, I'm good. Pussy and food. Pussy and good food. Good pussy. Healthy pussy and good food. Other than that, I have no ties to this world. Sneakers, mate. I love a nice pair of sneakers. That's it, bro. I don't give a fuck, bro. Music, I don't even like love music like I used to. I used to love music, bro. I don't even give a fuck anymore. I don't even write songs anymore. Like, I don't even care about music anymore like that, bro. Clean vagina and like trying new food. Like I'm like fucking Beerus from Dragon Ball Z. That's the only thing that that keeps me going. But I genuinely, I don't care. Like, and I'm not even talking, when I say pussy, I'm talking about the actual vagina. I'm not even talking about the piece of shit hoe that it's attached to. I don't even care about females anymore, bro. They all suck and they all just, 1 minute they cool, 1 minute they on your dick, the next minute they on somebody else. I'm like, I don't even care no more, bro. I don't even care no more, bro. So I'm telling you, you can take an organic, if I could take an organic vagina, and I don't give a fuck, nigga. I'll put it on a fucking steering wheel, nigga. I don't give a fuck. Fuck the shit out that car, bro. I don't have time to be dealing with bitches, man. Bitches suck.
Comes on. Every time. Those are just other lights, and they're intoxicating, and they pull you in. Resist that temptation. See spirit all the time.
Okay, so let's say you weren't able to do the work that you needed to do. Or you
Put a
choose
pussy on a bitch.
to do while you were
Put a pussy on that steering wheel, bitch.
wherever you reach the point of recognition. Do you automatically become light, or do you have to do that?
Recognition and liberation are simultaneous. You can do it here, there, anywhere. Okay? There's just moments, like in our personal life. Are you guys more likely to become liberated or enlightened in this office when we're talking about this stuff, or when you're watching a football game? Think about it. If you're actually studying, like Buddha would say, you're reading Dharma, you're studying the spiritual teachings, are you more likely to have an insight? Or what if you're reading 50 Shades of Grey? Now, of
Get
course,
them hoes.
it's superposition.
Did
There's
you hear them
probabilities.
hoes giggle?
You can increase the probability of winning
Freaky
the game. Now,
bitch.
what by the Sangha? I mean, this emphasizes the 3 jewels all throughout. Dharma, Sangha, Buddha. Gotta keep
Freaky
emphasizing.
bitches.
Each one of you has Buddha in you. All these answers are already in you. It's
Right.
a process of unfolding. It'll come about. You'll eventually get there. If you focus, it'll come about quicker. That's Buddha. Dharma is the teachings, and this is the very last line of this. If you gotta work on the teachings, if you study the teachings, it'll come about. You'll eliminate the lack of beliefs won't even scare you, just like they won't hear. You won't see this is bad anymore. It is literally overcoming death. To me, that is LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Steph Curry. Pick your favorite basketball player who's in the zone, right? And when they're in the
nigga
zone,
said
they
LeBron
do this. They're
James.
clicking on all levels.
Man,
It's
I'm about to
awesome
dislike this
feeling.
video, bro.
It's not the complete feeling, but it's a little piece of it. When you feel
finna
loved, when you
report
feel
this
inspired
nigga,
by
man.
something beautiful, yeah, that's a little piece of it too. But that awareness needs to be expanded into all of it. all of it, and recognize you're only having those experiences way back from the book. The observer effect, you're a conscious being. You're a conscious being having an experience. You're interacting with this thing called samsara. And what keeps popping up for you is exactly what you need to pop up for you. And the person to your left or your right, what's popping up for them is what needs to pop up for them. And it's an opportunity for anybody. The more adverse circumstances, often, the more likely you're going to say, I need to look at this different. You get sucked into the peaceful.
When you think about how crazy it is being a human being and realizing how much life you physically can't live simply because you don't make fucking useless paper. Bro, I was thinking about this today. I was thinking about this the last whole week. I was like, it's been such a beautiful week. I normally don't like fall. It's not my shit. Like I like summer, spring. I normally don't like fall, but it's been a really fucking nice fall. This fall was nicer than the summer. Like it wasn't no humidity or no stupid shit. It wasn't too hot. It was like perfect weather, man. Like I like a nice 78 degrees. That's my shit right there. But it was a perfect fucking September, bro. It was just fucking perfect. And I was just like, damn, imagine all the stuff that I could have did that I wanted to do. Like every day that I literally could not do what I wanted to do because I got to sit here and fucking dedicate my time and energy to making this useless paper to give right back to the beast system. And I was just like, bro, it'll just make you fucking throw your life away. It'll literally make you rob somebody, steal some shit, you know what I'm saying, blow your fucking head off. I mean, it's just fucking disgusting. It's just fucking disgusting. And then when you get stuck in that, man, I'm like, every day I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to fucking do deliveries today. I don't want to drive around in circles all day delivering fucking food and getting underpaid. My time and energy, my presence, like I'm an immortal light being doing fucking delivering food. What are we, like, when you get, bro, and it's like the sun and the weather, and it's like, damn, I wish I was somewhere doing something brand new. I wish I was exploring something. I wish I was doing what, you know, what they say we supposed to do. I wish I was learning something new. I wish I was building something. Why the fuck am I sitting here, you know what I'm saying, working a fucking pointless job? It's pointless. Your soul don't give a fuck about this damn job. You know what I mean? These jobs are not benefiting our souls. If anything, they're killing our souls. They're regressing. You know what I mean? Like they're de-evolving our souls and shit like that. These stupid ass fucking jobs. Only thing that would make sense for me to do at a job is fuck pussy. Is fuck one of my coworkers. And I don't have any coworkers because I work by myself. Other than that, there's nothing beneficial about having a job at all. Fuck your coworker. That's the message of the day. Fuck your coworker. You know? And don't fuck her in the ass though, because then you're gonna end up in one of these Facebook groups with bumps all on your shit. Niggas gonna be laughing at you.
The full part of it, then you're not gonna be liberated. What happens upon your death? Good luck when you come back around. If things went great,
you don't want bumps on your dick, nigga.
You got your mansion, you got love, and all this great stuff. You're gonna be miserable over here because you're gonna literally be walking around looking for your stuff. And if what you do is look back, like this line here, when you come across your surviving relatives and they perform incorrect religious rites, which is to say, imagine somebody who's on this side who's mourning your death, and they're upset and they're trying to pray you into heaven, or you know, whatever the case may be, and you're having experiences of them, and it's not correct. If you say it says imperfect religious rites, you must think, well, my perception is certainly imperfect. I see these as a result of my own negative attitude, like seeing the mirror's faults in my own form. Which is to say, no, you're the one that's looking at them incorrectly. It's another example of the mirror. Wherever you go, whoever you see, whatever you do, it's a reflection of your own mind. You have to embrace it to the 100 degrees, 100%. That's perfection. And then you now own all of it, you've taken all of it, and you don't have to go back around and round and round again. Not until you get to 100% will this be complete. Now this is why over in the East, Far East, they're all dedicated to the reincarnation idea, because they know this is a long process. The purpose of this little phase here, which is physical reality, is because it speeds things up. We have a chance to actually interact with each other. This part that we're coming to next, if you fail to recognize this is a projection of your own being, you start to begin the rebirth process, or the becoming process, because you look for a way out. I don't know what to do. I'm scared of all this stuff. It's creepy to me. I need out. I must need a body again. You immediately start to cling. I need to be flesh again. And so literally the body starts to form energetically around you, because this is a really high vibrating frequency, if you will. And you're still attracted to the flesh place. You can't let it go. And since you can't let it go, the body starts to form again. You quite literally start to get, as it says, you start to develop sight, sound, hearing, all that kind of stuff again. And yet you don't have a body. What you do have, which is crazy, you have evolutionary magic powers.
Oh, shit.
This means that you have no special abilities, because everybody has this, but you have magic powers, and you can, in a split second, circle the planet. You can move through mountains. Anywhere you want to go, just reach out your arm and you're there, okay? Because you're a ghost. It's called a hungry ghost. You haven't figured it out yet, but you're floating around, and what you're desperate for, you're craving human contact, or, I need a hug again, or whatever, and you're not used to, and you're not aware that you can be completely filled with this. It's always there, completely fulfilled, and you're not satisfied, so now you're coming back into the earth realm, and now you see all these places and all these things, and you're like, yeah, this is great, except for it's not, because you're invisible. Magic powers, well, yeah, if you detach yourself from your body, in your dreams, you can do billions of things inside your own dream state.
This shit's scary, nigga.
You'll be able to shoot through the world, and then you're going to still be unsatisfied. You're going to say, well, great, I was able to go to the moon and back in the speed of light, but what's that really do for me? What happens here? There's spirit guides are all throughout this, just like there are guides here. We really have each other. And if you learn to look at the other person as your teacher, it's always the case. All of you are teaching me where I'm at in my development. All of us are teaching Beth. All of us are teaching Kristen, all the way through whether you know it or not. The world is your mirror. Now, some people can be aware of it, some not, but it never stops. It's always teaching, always spirit guides. And it's also the case up here. The beings, the ascended ones, the ones in the white light, higher dimensional beings, you might say Jesus, the Lord, Buddha, the Lord. There's millions of Buddhas that they mention, dozens, that they mention throughout this. They're always contacting you. They're trying to guide you. I like to think of them as fans in the stands cheering you on. They're trying to get you to wake up.
Wake up,
you
bitch.
You need to be able to do it, and all they can do is try to influence you.
Wake your bitch ass up, nigga.
Those guides, at this phase,
Wake your bitch ass up, nigga. We going to Nirvana today, bitch. You know what I'm saying? We going to Nirvana today, bitch. But this dumb bitch just want to fucking do drugs and drink alcohol all day.
Nice. And you have not awakened, or as the book says, being extremely stupid. Because it is sort of good. How many people down here are so filled with animosity and resentment, once again, you can take politics if it works for you, that they destroy themselves based upon their hate of others? Now, that's extremely stupid, isn't it? When this express goal of all this is to learn how to see other, love thy enemy. That's what it is. That's how you break free. That's how you get liberated.
I don't know about
get
that.
Consumed with hate. Well, that's why this is fair. If you do, then that's on you. So you get to this state, you've not learned nothing, not learned anything, and you get yourself to a point where you're like, I need a body again. This is where the forces, the powers that be, that spirit guides, including yourself, because you have a say in this, start to develop this pathway back to your rebirth.
I better be this, man.
What's the right circumstance?
This is one of the coldest breakdowns I've ever seen, bro. Y'all better be paying attention to this shit. Reek is over there writing he's writing a love letter to Diddy and shit. He making sure the address is right. Everybody else, y'all need to be paying attention to this shit. Now, I don't know, take this shit with a grain of salt, whatever. But this is a pretty cool breakdown. Okay? Yo, bitch ass is gonna start thinking you need another body. See, that's where you fucked up. That's where you fucked up. Okay?
For my birth. How do I get out of this mess? Now you start to go back into this. They call it, you start to re-enter the womb. And it says you still have a chance to close the womb door. It even says you're going to see a man and a woman coupling. And you're going to like go, ooh.
Nigga, you literally sent that nigga commissary. Shut the hell up, bro.
There's a chance for a body. It says resist. Because why? You still have a chance to get to the white light.
That's why you coming back to
You
Earth,
still have a
nigga.
chance for luminosity,
Illuminati.
for recognition, for liberation. You still have a chance. It says the whole time, just keep, stay awake, try to wake up. If you fail to do it, now this is where your tendencies come into play.
It's
the whole
cold
thing is an
as
energy
shit
system.
in this car.
This soul, if it's resentful
I'm
here, it's
fucking
resentful
cold,
here, it's
man.
resentful here, it's gonna end up taking on circumstances that will bring about its possibility for correction. So, what are some life circumstances that might actually help a person who's got resentment issues? Are they going to be born in an environment which is really easy and they have no reason to resent anybody ever again? No, they're going to specifically get the annoying next door neighbor so they can work on that issue because they need to learn how to recognize,
Stupid,
I'm projecting that. I needed to have that experience. If it's, again, that says this in here somewhere, if I can get to the end of this, the advice. The best thing to do is remember the virtues. What are the virtues?
Don't fuck kids.
Patience.
Courage, compassion, wisdom, creativity, go on and on, hope, all that stuff. If you remember that, you can apply that here while you're alive. Do those things work? Absolutely. And do they work here? Do they work here? Do they work here? They absolutely work. Remember the virtues, and then you're going to be better off. If you find yourself getting pulled back into the physical realm, it says, do not go, ooh, that's a good life, or oh, that's a bad life. Don't do that. Accept either one that's coming to you.
Nah,
That's going to help balance you out. The
bruh.
key is to get back into a physical life, which is going to be the right circumstances for your opportunity to wake up again.
Bruh.
And then you're going to get about 80 years, give or take, and you're going to have a chance to go through it all again here. And if not, you're going to swing back all the way around again. Okay, so I have to get to some of these. Oh, this is how it ends. It does say
Nigga,
stuff like this.
please.
As you begin to gain access to a womb, choose wisely, but do not
Man.
judge anything as good or bad.
Man, listen,
Oh,
bro.
that'd be great. I'm gonna
Man,
be born
listen.
in-
Man, he said, talk about you could choose a womb, boy. What kind of fucking bullshit supreme retardation was I on when I chose the womb that I chose? What fucking the finest spiritual crack rock was the fuck I on when I chose to come out this raggedy hole, nigga? Oh my God. When I get back to the spiritual realm, I'm whooping my own ass, nigga.
Pittsburgh, where they got that. good
I'm
football
whooping
team.
my own
Yay.
ass.
Or I'm gonna be born to millionaires.
You's
No,
dumb
that's not the point. You have to
nigga.
go, which of these circumstances is gonna help me wake up? The guides will be suggesting, go there, go there. It literally says, which continent are you gonna be born on? Choose wisely, again and again.
Goofy nigga.
There really isn't a good and a bad life or circumstances for anyone. It's what they're gonna learn.
Listen to this stupid bitch.
It's all good.
Okay, what about the baby? What about the baby? Talking about, oh, we never choose a bad life. What about the baby that as soon as he was born, he got raped and eaten? What the fuck are you talking? All right, man.
Excellent. That's called the tree of life. The Bible itself, do not eat off the tree of good and evil, eat off the tree of life.
Fuck
Buddha
is
says
he
there's no good or
talking
bad,
about?
there's just peace and not peace. If you can see
I don't
every
want
one of
that
your
life.
experiences as neither good nor bad, as did this bring about peace or not, now you're accessing the light. If you pull that off, now you're balanced. That's dog Chen, that's equanimity, it's all those things, that's perfection. And that's the goal. So you wouldn't evaluate it as good or bad. You could say, well, that was pleasant or not.
Man,
You do
listen,
that.
bro. Fuck
And
this
I
place,
prefer,
dog.
I say this again and again, I
Fuck
prefer
this
pepperoni on my
fucking
pizza.
shit.
Some other people might prefer,
Fuck this shit, nigga.
Do either one of them matter? No, not to the white light. If you can see the spirit in it, then you'll gain access to it. You still might have experiences that are good or bad, but those are decidedly ego things. Here, now we're at the end of the book. I will give up corpse-like sleeping in delusion and mindfully enter unwavering the experience of physical reality. So I'm not going to go back like a corpse. I've been a corpse the whole time. Let me not go back as a corpse. Sleeping in delusion. Again, the vast majority of the world is in ego mode.
Be honest,
Asleep,
I think
robotic thinking, not aware.
because I'm trying to figure out, you know, everybody, like when they say the word God, everybody got different, you know, these motherfuckers over there on that side, when they say God, they talking about Satan because that's their God. When I say God, I'm talking about, you know, the kingdom of heaven is within. So God is like, I'm talking about the source. I'm not necessarily talking about Jesus daddy, you know? So I don't really know who you talking about when you say God and shit.
Their flesh. We're arguing.
And there was this lady, her name is Terry Daniels. I've been listening to her, and she was saying that, you know, there are people that volunteer, like as spirits or souls that volunteer to go through traumatic, terrible, tragic shit, like, you know, being a victim of the Holocaust or slavery or whatever, because their whole purpose is to help people elevate, so on and so forth. But I'm like, that's a bad life. I don't want to be a fucking slave. I don't want to be just hanging. What you doing? Just hanging? I don't want to just be hanging. I don't want to be hung. I'm going to be hung now so that y'all can consciously rise up. Fuck is you talking about? Respectfully, and this is my ego talking, but, you know, she's kind of saying that, like, we all be sitting around at the lunch table in the spirit realm, and we just be like, yo, how can we level up? How can we level our souls up? And then we're like, all right, well, let's go to Earth and do this goofy shit. Let's do this goofy, traumatic shit that's gonna, that hopefully, you know, reconnects us with our soul while we're down there and helps us defeat the ego. But it's like, damn, man, like every girl I know got raped. And it kind of fucking ruined our relationship. So how the fuck is that helping? I don't understand, man. I don't understand. I really don't get it.
About all this physical stuff. That's what all the wars are about. Whose profit is correct? Who needs the money? You know, who should have that piece of land? All of it delusion, all of it being projected from every individual person's mind. I will give up this corpse-like sleeping. Conscious of dreaming, I will enjoy the changes as clear light. When I come back in, that's what we were just saying. Good or bad, I'll enjoy it as the light. Either way. I said, is that what you want me to experience, God? You want me to experience this? Think Jesus on the cross. Did he want to go do that? Not my will, thy will be done. No, he didn't want to go do that. He knew he needed to, and he saw it as the light. Doesn't matter what happens to you. In fact, if you can see a bad thing as the light, you're going to wake up much quicker. This vessel will get filled a lot quicker. If you can take a bad thing and see it as the light, get really filled up. Not sleeping mindlessly like an animal. I will cherish the practice. Merging sleep and realization. I love it. Now that you're coming back into the physical form, you're going to merge sleep and realization. This is give to Caesar that which is Caesar's, give to God that which is God's. You're going to come back in with the awareness that, yeah, I'm in this sleep-like state. I'm in a dream, but I'm also self-actualized, and I realize this. I can now walk through this physical world as a spiritual being. It ends, the last line. If you do not put the Dharma in your mind, will you not be the one who deceives yourself? The Dharma is the teachings. The Dharma is the truth. The Dharma is like everything we were just talking about. And if you don't put that in your mind as you take on another physical form, aren't you just deceiving yourself? Well, the answer is decidedly yes. If you don't wake up to the process, you're going to spend not only this life, but all this blaming the external.
Right.
And you get to...
And that's why I be trying to tell Hurricane, you gotta stop fucking using your energy to be mad at God, cause that's some external shit. Like, And I tell people all that time. I tell all people that shit. And I was thinking about this when I ended the video earlier. Like, if you mad at your trauma, ultimately you're mad at your own progression. Because if there was no trauma, you be a bot like everybody else. Like these bots that get carried through fucking life. They whole life. Never gotta worry about shit. Never gotta struggle for shit. What is you talking about? Can run to mommy and daddy for everything. Can run to their fucking spouse for whatever, significant other for everything. Never had to fucking sleep outside. Never went hungry. Never. The people around, they never. It was like a fucking a spiritual law that they weren't allowed to have to suffer for real, for real. And then you see other people, God damn, you know what I'm saying? Outside talking to themselves and shit. Niggas said, I do 10 push-ups for $10. Straight crack, dope fiend activities, man. What is you talking about? You know, so it's like, I don't care what nobody say, even then though. Now, you can help. You can make your trauma worse. I'm talking about shit that's out of our control. The way we was right. We getting dropped off by raggedy pieces of shit that had no plan for us. Didn't invest in us. Motherfucker busted a nut and was like, oh shit. What you mean? You ain't got no money for an abortion? You ain't got no money for the plan B? Shit, I guess we assed out. That's what you should have named the baby. Assed out. Because they whole life, they gonna be assed out. First name assed, last name out, nigga. But it's like, I'm talking about trauma that we couldn't avoid. Couldn't avoid your upbringing. You didn't have no control over that. You couldn't raise yourself, you know what I mean? You couldn't support yourself financially as a kid. Put yourself somewhere safe and shit like that. And nurturing, no. That's just what you had. That's just what the universe was like, yo, either you signed up for this shit or you just had to go through this shit. Vice versa, either or both. But I'm talking, you can make your trauma way worse. And that's the hard part. When you know you going through some bullshit, when you know it feel like your whole life is rigged, bro. When you know you trying to get ahead, you take one step forward and then you get knocked the fuck back 101 steps. You like, God, what the fuck? This don't even make no sense, bro. Fuck around, you know what I'm saying? Fuck around, get a brand new. Let me not say that because I don't even want to. You know what I mean? I don't even want to speak that into existence, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? You like go on a date with somebody, everything cool. The next day, the motherfucker be like, "Yeah, no, thank you." You like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, nah, this is some Adjustment Bureau interference going on right now. You know what I'm saying? He's like, get some money saved that your car breaks down. Nigga, you can buy the car and the shit break down before you get home. That's the type of shit that happened to me. That's the type of shit that happened to me. Buy a car and then before I even get home, nigga, I got a flat tire. Like, what? Dude, yo. Where's the con? Okay, let's see. Let me see. Just want to know what causes each person to come and experience that particular life. They just said, ultimately, in a nutshell, is growth, spiritual growth, soul growth. So the negative energy, you know, the pressure pushes you, forces you to ascend on a spiritual level. So that when you go back, you know what I'm saying? You go back, you like, yeah, I'm stronger. It's like how, you know, I don't know if you watch anime, y'all niggas, Goku is my favorite. Goku is one of my favorite. Like, I would literally get Goku tatted on my leg or some shit. Because that's how, you know, that's how he gets stronger. He gets the shit. I mean, it's like some form of like, you know, some whoever created this show was freaky. You know what I mean? They was freaky. They was freak nasty because they would just
Goku would get the shit beat out of him. And right before he's about to die, that's when he would like transform or transcend until his next evolution. You know what I'm saying? He would transform into the next version of himself that was way stronger. You know, and that's what I feel like. I mean, if that ain't a fucking representation of what we going through, getting the fucking shit kicked out of us, we on the ground crawling shit. He like, please, no more. getting the fucking everybody. We getting stomped out by everybody. Okay, we getting stomped out by every motherfucker. Okay, every actor in the Truman Show is stomping the shit out of us. Oh, he said Piccolo. Yeah, Piccolo Piccolo to this day, bro. That's how you know Piccolo black. Get the that nigga. That nigga somewhere getting his ass whooped right now for no reason.
Go through it again and again and again. All right.
Nigga,
So
Piccolo white, Piccolo black than a motherfucker.
Think of it, because you can apply it here and there. It's all a projection all the time. In the book, we have the thing called the projector. It's also the observer effect. It's always a projection. The movie reel is inside your own brain.
And choose your life.
Eyes are the light sort of looking out through the movie. That happens here. That happens here. If you see it that way, it'll happen here. It'll happen here. It's always just a projection. Therefore, it's all just an illusion. Chapter 13. All the smartest physicists have called it an illusion. All of the prophets called it an illusion, and Jesus demonstrated that's an illusion. And yet, we think it's real. If you can't get yourself to a place where you recognize that this is an illusion, you're not liberated. Does that make you bad? No. You're still in some sorrow, and you're going to keep going through sorrow. But when you do wake up and recognize, wait a minute, this isn't what I think it is. I'm a spiritual being.
It could be you could like, look. It could be something as simple as when we go back to source or whatever, we could just be bored. Let's have a real conversation. The Avatar Lotto is wild. Yo, you know, niggas. Man, listen, bro. So yeah, like them niggas, them billionaires, kids, and the Nepo babies and shit, they the ones out here hitting the spiritual Mega Millions and shit. We out here, man, we can't even fucking win a scratch off, nigga. Shit is fucked up.
Experience. That's liberation. You still have the experience, but you do it with the light.
The only thing I could say is we already lived that. We've already lived that, or that's on its way. We've already lived a life of being wealthy. And then we was like, this shit is boring. This shit is, so we like, okay, in my next life, I want to be poor as fuck and see if I can get rich or see if I can find happiness. Because these motherfuckers swear that money can't buy happiness, but all my fucking problems are because I ain't got no fucking money. See, that's the thing. Money will buy happiness, okay? Money does buy happiness to a motherfucker that has already reconnected with their soul. You give me $100 billion, you give me $1 billion, nigga, I'll be smiling in my sleep. Fuck is you talking about? Because now I can use that money as a tool to create, and build and do shit that will make me happy. Happy as hell. That'll make me happy as fuck. What is you talking about? It be the people that are so miserable they're already on a miserable frequency. They already vibrating on a miserable, icky fucking level where he's that it's like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't shit anyway. Like, fuck is you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
I like to say it's very therapeutic. Now you're peaceful.
So I think that we just when we go around like the hamster wheel, like you said, we've experienced, we don't know how many times we've been here. That's the fucked up part. And that's the part that I really want to fight somebody over. It's a lot of things that I'm not mad at, but I'm mad that why can't I remember my last life if this shit is real? Why? Why can't I remember my last life? Why? Why am I not allowed to? That genuinely makes me pissed the fuck off. Or why can't we tap into it? Why we gotta go to a random motherfucker that be like, oh yeah, and tell it? No, why can't we tap into it ourselves? Why? Why? Why I gotta go get scammed out of $150 for a nigga to tell me, oh yeah, you was Mansa Musa in your last life. Dick was swinging. You know, you had gold Magnum condoms. Nigga, you was wearing gold Magnum condoms, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? My last life, I know I was a Mexican man. I know I was. I eat too much Mexican food not to have been Mexican in my last life. I was a short ass Mexican man with a badass Mexican wife in my past life, and I think I was a part of the cartel because for some reason my solution in life is always cutting a nigga head off, man, allegedly in Grand Theft Auto.
I'm not really dying, I'm just leaving the movie theater. That's greatly therapeutic. You can get through all of your issues by recognizing this. It's just an illusion. You had an experience, let it go. Who among us is going to go through this phase? You know, every single person. And you're going to be glad you worked on the Dharma, okay? You're going to be glad you worked on this stuff. You're going to be like, oh, I remember Steve was talking about that white light in 2017. All right?
So this nigga Reek, man, shout out Reek. That nigga been holding Diddy down, man. Oh, shit. She said, I'm a newbie. What you mean you a newbie? What that even mean? What that even mean? We supposed to figure it out. I work at a 9 to 5 and trying to stay nourished and hydrated. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's it right there. The money, the paper chase alone, bro. Every day you trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for this stupid shit that I really don't even need, that it don't even matter. So I've been stressing, but I'm saying, like, you're not like a newbie to like being a truth seeker though, you know what I'm saying? But I've been stressing about my storage, right? Like real hard. You know, when you like I'm at a level where I give it away. Like at the end of the day, whatever I'm worried about, I give the energy away. You know what I'm saying? I give it away. But I know I'm in a bad place when I can't even, you know what I mean? I'm holding on to it throughout the night and then the next day, you know, because I'm like, these motherfuckers told me, bro, out of nowhere, I'm like almost 40 days late on my storage and they gonna hit me. And I like, okay. I know they gonna hit me with another late fee, but I can eat that and then I'll pay it by this weekend, whatever. Cause you know, when you black, it's like, you know how to manage late payments and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know how, like, it's like when you black, you just born knowing how to calculate late fees and shit. So I'm like, okay, I got it. I could pay that and the late fee by the weekend. These motherfuckers gonna be like, oh, well, we're gonna hit you with a late fee and a $75 something. I'm like, see, now y'all just making shit up. Okay? Now y'all just making shit up. And that's when I get pissed off, when niggas start making up fees. Because I'm like, I'm not no bitch. I'm not a bitch. You not gonna bitch me, bro. I'll blow this whole motherfucking building up in Grand Theft Auto before you try to play me like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was tripping on that. But last night, I just summoned it. I said, I already have the money. I just summoned it. I said, I already have the money to cover this. It's already paid for. It's already taken care of. And I just summoned that energy or summoned that reality. And ultimately, you know what I'm saying, it's taken care of and stuff like that. And a lot of us need to realize that everything, you know, it's going to sound gay as shit. This shit going to sound gay as shit. But everything we want Everything we want is it's already, it already belongs to us. We just have to summon it. We just have to call it forth. We just have to you tell the universe. If you tell the universe, oh, the universe, I need $1,000, the universe is gonna be like, okay, uh, all right. You know, that whatever, like it's not gonna give it to you. You know what I mean? You have to call it forth. And I know niggas is probably like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, cause I was the same way, but it's like you genuinely have to know, like, fuck believing. You have to know it's there. It's already there. It's just we're playing this game with ourselves in our head, thinking that it's not. It's already there. The Bugatti is already there. The Ferrari is anything you can think of. The family is already there. You just have to know it. You have to know it, bro. And I know that shit sound like some gay ass bullshit, but it's the truth, nigga. It's the truth, man. That's what Jim Carrey said he did. They said Jim Carrey, man. They said Jim Carrey out here getting paid millions of dollars and shit to do bullshit. You know? And like I said, I'm still a newbie to that. You know, I'm a newbie to that. You know, just stepping back from I gotta do this and I gotta do this to get that. It's already there. It's already there. I have to know it harder. You know, I have to like tap into it more. It's already there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Probably, yeah, that's a good idea. Look for it while you're here. Whatever you concentrate upon will come about. This is in the book. Whatever you concentrate upon comes about. That's why focus is important. If you worry a lot, stuff that is going to worry you is going to come about. And if you're resentful, stuff that is resenting will happen to you. If you forgive, then you're going to have a forgiveness experience. It's whatever you choose to focus on, and it's not the other person. Direct quote, you have a mental body of unconscious tendencies.
Sean.
If you are killed and cut into pieces,
Sean, no simping in the chat, nigga. I seen that.
you cannot die. You're a mental body of unconscious tendencies. That is superposition. Okay? You have all these probabilities, or what degree of forgiveness are you? What degree of patience are you? The physical aspect really is just the tool. Course in Miracles would talk about it that way too. Use the flesh to teach the spirit, okay? Get off of the idea that you're a body. You turn your own projections into demons. You've done it. You need to love thy enemy. And a few helpful lines. Unless you recognize that everything
Fuck out of here,
continually
dude.
fall into the eternal
The
slope of
fuck out of here.
This is 1,500 years old teaching. And unless you recognize this is an illusion, you will continually fall into this. There will come a point where you recognize it as an illusion. Listen without distraction, it says it again and again and again. Without distraction. How many of us get distracted in our physical lives? Every time you turn around, oh, there's something physical to do, you know? Or I'll be like, hey, Steelers were playing and I just lost
That
it.
nigga Jay said,
I'm mad at
man.
Tom Brady again or whatever. I just got distracted. Stay focused on this. It's always there. If your eye is single, your whole body will be filled with light. If you see projections as enemies, you will not become Buddha. If these projections, which is all of it, if you
Like
see
this
them as
nigga right
enemies,
here,
you will not
right?
become Buddha.
Like the demon in me, right? I want to walk up to this nigga right here and smack the eternal soul out this nigga, bro, and literally catch his cigarette before he dropped to the floor and just grab his keys and just go ahead and go ahead and scrap these parts for this fucking Benz, right? See, the fucking that demon inside of me is like, this nigga food. And it's time to eat. But I gotta sit here and tell him like, nah, don't do that. Nah, don't do that. Smack, nigga. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, you know, you see somebody, you like, how the fuck does this motherfucker have some shit? And I don't have some shit. And I'm out here, yo, I worked all day today, bro. I worked all day today. Guess how much money I made today? I worked all day today. Guess how much money I made, bro?
So think of the recent political events again too. If you see other as enemy, you will not become Buddha. You're gonna have to somehow learn how to see that other person as a projection of your own mind. At every moment, remember
Pause.
the practice of virtue.
Pause.
You must stay focused. It's
Pause.
Stay focused. You're walking a
Pause.
tightrope,
See,
and if you lose focus, you're falling.
when Reek said it, the way Reek said it, I had to say pause. I wasn't even. He made it sound weird. I made $116, nigga, and I worked all fucking day. This nigga said $24. Eva, don't come in here with that shit again, because I remember you said some shit the other day, nigga. You said you was eating fast food placenta the other day. Don't get me started on you, man. We don't forget shit like that, man. Okay? You and Bill Gates got some shit in common over there, man.
3 more. Practice in this life is most important.
Fuck I'm supposed to do with $116, bro? What the fuck am I supposed to do with $116? I can't even buy I can't even buy the vagina of a South Korean sex trafficked whore for $116. Okay? That's gonna run me at least $175 allegedly.
Practice is most important. This is Heb's law.
The fuck am I supposed to do that? Yeah. $24 is wild. Like, come on, bro.
Go to Walmart and go to the longest line at the checkout counter, okay? Next time you're in traffic, let a couple people in front of you, right? This is why compassion and charity and those things can be very helpful, because if you're practicing giving up some of your ego possessions, that can be very valuable. Got to practice this stuff. When I suffer, may the Lord of great compassion be my guide. Who does that sound like? When I'm suffering, may the Lord of great compassion be my guide. That means here, or here. Who's the Lord of great compassion? Name your favorite prophet. Right? The light, God, Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, Muhammad, whatever. The Lord is my shepherd. Doesn't matter which religion you're in, it's the same thing. Those are ascended beings. Those are the deities, okay? Those are the ones from above who are trying to get you to wake up and realize what they've realized. Their process, they got out. They're just leaders. They're the shepherds trying to teach you how to get out, all of them. And if you can remember, oh, that's right, that Jesus, that Buddha, that Krishna, Muhammad, whatever works for you, that's important. Whatever works for you, man, you're connected to the light. And it works when you do it, right? You can feel that. What happens to your suffering? Whether you're here, and you manage to connect to the light. Diminishes, right? And Buddha would say, last line, and Buddha would say, and that is the proof that this is what's true. As Ram Dass says, for those who have had this experience, no explanation is necessary. For those who haven't had the experience, no explanation is possible. Right? The fact is, when you start to experience that, you know it's truth. If not, keep going through the peace and the wrath and the peace and the wrath and the rebirth, and you'll eventually get there.
So I think that was a good video. If you want to check this guy out, you know, here's a channel. There was another lady I've been listening to. There was another lady that is selling homes in heaven. I heard about that shit too. That came out a while ago. Them niggas going straight to hell. What is he talking about? We live in a world where a Negro named Creflo Dollar exists. I mean, fuck, just exist. Exists, nigga. He's alive. Like, what the fuck are we doing down here, man? You can really do. That's the thing about this place. I think we just be bored as hell. Once we go back to source, we be bored as hell. We be like, nigga, we can't fuck up here. We can't steal shit. We can't play Grand Theft Auto up here. Like, we can't do nothing up here. Ain't no food. We can't eat burgers and shit, steak, nothing. We can't do shit. We can't curse a motherfucker up. We can't curse a nigga out up here because ain't no such thing as negativity up here. I think that's what happens. We just come down here and be like, fuck it, get me. I gotta get out of here. I think we just be like, yo, fuck, I gotta get out of here, bro. I need a cigarette. Like, I think niggas really be in the inner world, or this niggas just be like, a motherfucker be like, I need a cigarette, nigga. Put me back in a body. Like, I really think it's really that simple, bro. I really think it's really, niggas like, this shit is boring than a motherfucker up here. It's peaceful as fuck. God damn. It's too peaceful around this motherfucker. I need to do a skit on that, bro. I need to do a skit on that. It's just too, but see, me, I'm different. Like, I don't know.
Meet Bob Olson. Bob's the author of Answers About the Afterlife and the host of Afterlife TV, a private investigator who began investigating.
But I've been fucking with this
the
bitch.
afterlife.
Her name is Terry Daniel, and her last name, her son was born. He was born real fucked up. Her son was born with like a fucked up disability, and he died at like 16. And she changed her last name to his first name. You know what I'm saying? Now, how many of us, raise your hand. If your black ass died right now, how many of y'all mothers would change their last name to your first name? Get the fuck out of here.
Souls, pre-birth plan. You know, I wanted to tell you about that, and I think I'm going to
Your mom don't love you, Nick.
read passages today, and we'll be able to talk about the.
I've been interested in this since I was 12.
Mom don't love you, Nick.
So that was sort of built in. When I was in my 50s, I had a child who was severely disabled, severely ill. He died when he was 16. During his illness,
Tell me I'm lying.
found ways to communicate with him telepathically because he lost the ability to speak
That's fucked
because of
up.
his disabilities. And after he died, he began talking to me in great detail 30 minutes after he died.
This nigga,
And during
what
that
is
period, I was hearing.
Is it my phone or is this nigga white as shit? All right, there we go. Damn.
Deep meditations, really working on talking to guides, just looking for
Damn.
divine guidance. And I was so into my connection with the other dimensions that it became just incredibly comfortable and easy for me. And I was directed to write these books and go back to school and start the Afterlife Conference, and everything just pushed me in that direction starting in about 2006.
That's a fascinating start right there, and
Kayla says she gonna be in the casket with some musty ass Adidas socks. She gonna have some musty ass Adidas. They not even ankle socks. They the ones that go up. They not tube socks, but they not the ankle socks. They gonna be musty. That's crazy.
and I don't want to brush dive.
Damn.
Your son's name is Danny, right?
Yes.
Feet gonna be humming. Feet gonna be like.
And it wasn't until the end of the book.
Damn.
Give it away, but I just loved when I read that.
Damn. Feet gonna smell like wreak havoc breath.
That's how you ended up with your last name, right?
Yes, I changed my last name to Daniel after he died. That was his first name.
What a nice tribute. You mentioned several different types of tributes that people can
That
do.
shit crazy. Feet gonna smell like Jay head when he take his do-rag off in the morning.
That was one that I'd never heard of before. And first of all, I love the name. It's very easy to remember. Terry Daniel. It was, and I'd known about you for years, and then all of a sudden to learn that, I just thought, oh, what a beautiful thing to do. I never heard of it, and I think it was a great example.
Can y'all hear this white woman? I repeat. Are y'all able to hear this white woman?
Of how far we can go with remembering our loved ones in spirit. Now, I don't want to brush by. Danny was diagnosed with this rare degenerative disorder at age 10, right?
Yes,
And then he passed at age 16.
right.
And you had said after 2 years, so when he's 12, he now can't even communicate in full sentences. He can understand you. He just isn't able to talk.
Yes, it's very much like ALS. And I always thought of him kind of like a computer where the monitor is shut off. So everything's going on inside, but it can't be projected outward.
This
except
nigga
for
Sean.
telepathically. And one of the reasons
This
I got
nigga
so
Sean
interested in
ain't
studying
shit.
death and the afterlife was because I was trying to teach him to have a fearless, conscious view of death. And I realized that most children, all children probably in America, their idea of death is what they see on television and video games and movies. It's violent, it's people screaming, it's blood flying everywhere.
Man, listen,
And
man.
granted, some deaths are like
50-year-old pussy go brazy, nigga.
that, but I knew his wasn't going to be like that. So I tried to educate him about what death really is so that as a little kid he wouldn't be afraid. And looking back, I realized that on a soul level, he was the one who was educating me. I learned it all from him. And I also know in terms of soul agreements and why we come here the way we do is this was all a
He
magnificent.
said the baby came out like yittity. Baby came out with his hands like this and shit, like this. Can y'all see it? Baby came out with his hands like this. And the baby first words, he was like, "Can you say mama?" And the baby was like, yittity.
Pattern of perfection for us, because I know for certain that he was here in this condition, in this situation, so that I could be here right now talking to you about this and teaching and doing what I do.
Where did you get this idea, though? I mean, most people are afraid to, talk to their kids about death because
Caldwell's on his face. Damn,
taught how to
Caleb.
do that. We weren't taught. Nobody
Damn,
talked to us
Caleb.
about death when we were growing up. Certainly no classes in school about that.
Damn,
in
y'all niggas ain't
junior
shit
high
for real.
and high
Talk
school.
about this white queen like
And
that.
you come along and here you have this child, and instead of avoiding the subject altogether, which adults do. I mean, you talk about your father. I know lots of people, don't talk to them about death. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They could be, 103 and they're not going to be talking about death. But you're talking to what I know you read, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Was this an influence to you? How did you get
It was a
this
huge
idea to do
influence
this?
to me. I read the Tibetan Book of the Dead when I was 19,
Oh.
and I hung on every word, and I kept thinking, this makes more sense to me than anything I've ever heard about death and the afterlife before. From everything I'd absorbed living in a Judeo-Christian culture, as soon as I picked up that book,
Right.
19 years old,
So look,
I said, I know this is what
this the reason why I kind of I'm looking into the Book of the Dead, because she mentioned this during this interview. So this is kind of like the, give a fuck about Charlie Kirk. I'll piss on Charlie Kirk grave. I care about stuff like this. Like, let's focus on these books and shit that they hid from us or never told us existed. Let's focus on that. That's a distraction. Charlie Kirk is a distraction. The government shutdown is a distraction. This stupid ass comet, 3I, whatever the fuck, suck my dick, is it's all distractions. Let's evolve our soul while we have the opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
is. And I think that's how I got started in my whole path of studying theology and spirituality and doing this work. Nothing, as you know, happens by accident.
Because
So, the path was there from the beginning.
because niggas are fake as shit and bitches are fake as shit. And the only person you have is yourself. Because right about now, I'm ready to slap the shit out of every motherfucker I ever thought I was cool with in my whole life. People suck. People ain't shit. So fuck the distractions, including those people that you think you love and you care about. Fuck all of that bullshit. And level your soul up while you have air in your lungs. So yo greasy ass don't come back here, you know what I'm saying, and have to do this shit all over again. Let's have a real conversation. Okay? All right? I want to link back up with y'all niggas in the spiritual realm. Hopefully Kayla got a fresh pair of socks on. You know what I'm saying? Man, that nigga Jay gonna have fucking locks and shit, man. It's gonna be beautiful, man.
Just tell people I mean, you speak very well. When I write, I always write better than I speak. So, but you so well and so briefly explained what the Tibetan Book of the Dead is really all about and how it's supposed to be used. Could you tell us about that?
Sure. In ancient Buddhism, still used today, it's a guidebook. So when somebody is dead or very close to death, the priest or the monk will come and read this book. And it basically says, it's a map of where you're going. And it basically says things like, okay, now you're going to this realm. And if you look over here, you'll see some white light. And if you look to the left, you'll see yellow light. And if you look over there, there's some monsters and demons. And it's all mapped out. And so what it does is it guides.
Stop laughing in the chat. Listen to what this white queen is talking about.
Soul to make, I hate to use the term the right choices, but it says here are your choices. And the soul will very often be drawn to the dimmer light or to the monsters and demons or to the other things that are there. And so the priest will kind of try to direct it to always go to the highest states. However, it doesn't make a judgment that the state over here with the demons is necessarily bad, because if the soul is attracted to that, it's going there for a reason. And there's work it has to be done in that state. Now, those demons are not external. They're your own projections. And so that's kind of like a life review. You know, we hear people every once in a while say, oh, I've heard people who've had near-death experiences.
This nigga Sean be buying drawers from the Goodwill, man. Keep it 100, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Went to hell. And we know what that really is. That was just a very challenging life review. And so the Buddhists know this too. So the place you go,
these shits is Ralph, nigga. They Ralph, though.
it's dark or scary or demons, is your own stuff coming up for you to look at and heal, just like it would in a life review. And people who come back from NDEs talking about scary experiences going to hell are because, and this is true of all NDEs, they didn't really die all the way. They just went to the threshold. So they just kind of went to the life review stage and a few other things, and boom, they're back in the body. So nobody can really tell us from an NDE what really happens, because they didn't stay there long enough to know. They only know the first entry phase. The mediums and the channelers are the people who can tell us.
Well, it's depending on their beliefs, right? Because sometimes they'll interpret things if they believe in the demons and you know, if they believe in hell, they might interpret the experiences they're having with their clients, with communicating with spirit, to believe that was something that they experienced. But let me just with that said, I you know, I'm jumping up and down inside here, the excitement as I was throughout the book. Because you explain that, it's so important. It's such an important thing, and that was a very difficult thing that I was trying to talk about in my own book, about why we have these hellish, not near-death experiences, and I said it in my own words, but I pretty much said the same thing. These people came back. You know, like, it's such an important point. These people came back. You know, they weren't there long enough to play it forward so that they could change their experience. And many of them were, and they did change their experience even before they came back. And a lot of that is about these people who just sort of called out for help. And calling out for help in my mind is, you know, there's hope. That means there's hope. That means you're starting to believe that there's another possibility. And when you think there's another possibility, the way I understand people who have NDEs, you know, you think about something and boom, you're there. You think about being in a field, you're in a field. You know, you think about being with your loved ones, you're there, right?
Yes, and that's what the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and there's also an Egyptian Book of the Dead and a Celtic Book of the Dead, by the way.
Oh.
And that's what they do, is they make that suggestion that you can think of another possibility. So they say, okay, now you're on level 42 or whatever, and there's this stuff over here and that stuff over there. Go to that stuff. And the soul will go wherever it wants to go or where it needs to go. The interesting thing about mediums in hell, and I say this all the time, I'm pretty sure you've never heard a medium say, oh yeah, I was talking to a dead person the other day and he said, help me, I'm burning in hell. That just doesn't exist
Right.
in real death, in real deep death.
Damn, Caleb. Yeah.
But a projection of that does exist in near-death experiences.
Yeah, and like you said, sometimes the life review can feel like hell if you didn't live a very good life. But all right, I just want to talk about your book here. I didn't show it, and I want to show it. I'm going to show it more than once. Embracing Death: A New Look at Grief, Gratitude, and God. Terry Daniel, take a look at that book. Check it out on Amazon. In the show notes below this video, you will see a link to it, and I'm excited about this book, and I'm so glad that you came out with it. And it's interesting, the title, Embracing Death. I actually thought about it. I'm like, I don't want people to think it's necessarily just about that. They have to really understand what that means. Tell us about that title. What did you mean by that?
I'm not sure I know what I meant by that. I guess I meant, that to not be afraid of death. I was doing a lot of hospice work at the time.
Yeah, that's
and
wild.
it's just a matter of understanding that there is no death.
Yeah.
And so if we embrace this life as we know it, and we think it's wonderful, we'd have to open our minds to understand that there are many other forms of existence, that this isn't the only one. And the other form that most people know is called death. And so we want to make it part of our embracing of all experience.
Yeah.
It doesn't just end with this physical life. I was talking to a young man yesterday, 22 years old, who is a natural born shaman. And he's doing a lot of shaman training. And he asked me this amazing question. He said, is everything that exists on the earth now all there ever will be, or will there ever be new things? Will there ever be new life forms or new plants? And where would they come from? And I never thought about that before, but what we concluded was, in order for new things to exist, the old things have to die. So the only way anything new could ever exist on Earth is like the Earth will blow up, or nuclear devastation or pollution or whatever will kill everything off, and stuff will burn and turn to carbon or whatever happens scientifically, and new stuff will grow out of those chemicals. And so death is like that too. Death is just, the breaking down of the old to make fertile ground for something new. Yeah. It's never ending. Energy never, ever stops.
Yeah, right. Wow. I love that.
Wow.
So well said. Great question that he had. That's a really wonderful question.
Wow.
It made me think of some other things that you talked about in the book. And I'm looking for it in my questions. I think we'll get to it. I just want to finish off on that. So embracing death, and you gave the answer that I expected, but I think it's so important to really emphasize that embracing death, this is a concept about living, and so it's not like looking forward to death, or I love death. It's none of those things.
This nigga's crazy.
It's about embracing death, so it changes the way you live. That's what I think your book helps people do, by understanding death in the way that your experiences, my experiences have helped us do.
Listen,
to
man,
not fear death, for one.
I'm not gonna let you keep talking. I'm not gonna let you keep talking down about this white queen, man. Okay. All right, put some respect on her name. She about to go in. I wouldn't mind. What's her name? Sophia Stewart, or the black woman that says she's like the mother of the Matrix and shit. It's just when like a real nigga don't get pussy for a while, it start to fuck up a nigga train of thought, man. It's just not healthy, man. A real nigga supposed to be getting pussy on a daily. It's been about 2 months, man. It's been about $2, bro.
To understand it a little better, it changed my life.
Shit
And
hurt,
I
nigga.
can tell by reading your story, it's changed your life.
Shit
By
hurt,
thinking
nigga.
about death differently. And because we both embrace death in the way that you're talking about here, it is about living. It's about living differently because of the way we look at death now. We look at death differently. In fact, there's the subtitle, right? A
He
new
said
look at
death
grief,
supremacist.
Gratitude and God. Okay, so we come full circle.
Fear of death is at the root of all neurosis. And if you look at human behavior, you can boil everything down to the fear of death. I was, again, talking to this little shaman kid yesterday about environmental.
That's why yo bitch ass go to work every day, cause you scared that if you don't go to work and make this money, you ain't gonna have no place to live. You ain't gonna have no money to eat food. You ain't gonna be able to buy no water because you scared to death to drink that water in the faucet. Let's have a real conversation. You scared to death. Go in the bathroom right now. I will cash app you $1. Go in the bathroom right now and drink your faucet water. Drink like a liter of faucet water. I bet you won't. I bet you won't. I bet you $1 you won't. Fuck is you talking about? Nigga won't even drink they shower water. What is he talking about? Run the tub and just put a cup under that shit. Be the fear of death. And they know it. They know it. I'll be at, man, when we was kids, we used to drink the fucking, the fountain water. Man, we used to drink that shit like it was nothing, bro. When I go to the basketball court or I go to the gym or I go to the park, I'm like, ugh. I'm like, you would never catch me drinking that bullshit, bro. We like Adam, like I don't even know what we are. We drink all of our water out of some sort of fucking container. Plastic, glass, whatever the fuck. Don't none of us even fucking, we live in a country, the greatest country in the world. You can't even go in your fucking kitchen and feel safe drinking the water coming out the goddamn faucet, bro.
And, you know, in rabid environmentalism, political activism, and, you know, we have to save the planet.
Yeah.
Is the fear of death at the root of that thinking as
Death
well?
power.
Are we afraid of the planet dying, which is really being afraid of ourselves dying? It really all comes down to the ego's fear of disappearance. I will disappear.
There it is.
Everything I know will disappear.
The ego's fear of disappearance. The ego is like a fucking Jehovah's Witness, bro. It's just this annoying fuck that no matter what you tell it, you know what I'm saying, leave me the fuck alone. That motherfucker's still gonna show up bright and early, knocking all up on your fucking subconscious door and shit. Leave me the fuck alone, ego.
That's a big fear.
That
Humans
is a
don't
big
like
fear,
that.
and you and I were talking about it a little bit before we started this interview. Perfect. And so we're talking about the new consciousness that conversation we had about that. Continue with that a little bit more and tell us about this idea that people have about this shift that's going on, and that somehow it's different than it has ever been in history.
I wonder if she got a fat
A
ass.
lot of what I teach is different than the New Age party line, if you will. And I do get a lot of criticism for that. But people are always walking around saying, oh, wow, we're in this shift of consciousness and we're coming to, consciousness is raising. We're coming to this new place because humanity is so messed up and the world is so messed up. And whenever people tell me about this shift, I have to say, if we were living in the Roman Empire or in the Middle Ages or in Africa during the slave trade or anywhere, we'd be saying exactly the same thing. We'd be saying, wow, life is so messed up. You know, they're crucifying people. There's the Crusades, or, oh, everybody's dying in the streets from the plague. We're living in really terrible times, but there's new hope coming. There's going to be a shift. There's a new religious teacher preaching on the corner. There's a new way of thinking, or now we have books, or whatever it is. It's absolutely no different now than it ever was in human history. It's the same struggle. It's the ego suffering and having these experiences that create conflict and pain, which are absolutely necessary to kick us in the butt and move us to awareness. That is how the system works, and that's always been happening.
There it
And there's
is.
absolutely nothing different going on today than there was in
There you
700
go.
BC or
So
16.
that's what I be trying to tell y'all, man. Whenever you get mad at your trauma, you getting mad at your own fucking awareness. Without that fucking trauma, and it fucking sucks and all that shit, but without having to go through that, we would never have been able to become self-aware. You know what I'm saying?
42 or any other time in history, and it's arrogant.
She probably got
to
some
think
fire
that we're
pussy
so
though.
special that we're living in a special time, and that we're so special that we
That
can
grip.
stop that from happening.
That
Yeah.
grip.
So there's a shift now. Yes, there is. The shift is the internet.
I'm
in
gonna hit
my
her up in
opinion.
the DMs.
Now we have this amazing tool
Yeah.
that is helping us spread information, but there was a time in history when it was the printing press and people learning how to read.
Yeah.
Evolution happens all the time.
Well, that's it. And I love that. I also love that, you know, you talk about, you know, I may open myself up to criticism. I do it all the time. And I do the same thing. And I think it takes people who are willing to take that risk to come out with new ideas, to have a paradigm shift. Otherwise, we all just think the same. We're like drones, and we never grow in that way. And so it takes different people. Sometimes we're wrong. Fine, you know. Well, you and I'd be the first to admit it. You know what? I said this. This is what I believed, and now I'm wrong. This is what I believe. Well, that'll happen. But people need to share their views about things that are different,
Right.
and not be fearful of that, because it helps other people
Right.
to open up their minds and think about it as well. I took a big risk with my book. I talk about
Right.
suicide, and I talk about murder, and I
Damn.
talk about abortion.
Shit.
I cover all the subjects that I probably, when I was thinking about it, maybe I should leave these out. And I'm so glad that I didn't.
This
Those are
nigga,
the chapters that
This
people
nigga laugh is
got
crazy.
the most out of, and I know they have the most depth, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for you, that you have the whatever it takes to come out there and share your views in a risky way, even though you may receive criticism. And you talk about the internet. That's where we're going to get the most of it, is right there, you know.
Right in those comments in the YouTube videos.
The YouTube comments, yeah. I was
Oh,
just talking about that in my last interview. All right, so let's go back. I want to talk about, you talk about that you communicated with Danny, your son, both during the process, the last 4 years before he passed, and 30 minutes after, in a whole new way it started. Well, it wasn't in a whole new way, but I wanted you talk about the IPS as opposed to the UPS, and tell us what the IPS is
This nigga.
and how it is that you communicate with Danny
I don't
now.
know. This nigga did like a line of coke or some shit before he. Yeah, okay, I'm ready. Like, what the fuck? This nigga all over the place, bro.
Well, it's interesting. My communication with Danny has changed over the years, as all interdimensional communication does. So I'll come back to that in a minute. Danny was a very articulate kid. He always said really funny things. He was great with words, and he was even better that way from the other side. The IPS, he was trying to explain to me how communication happens across dimensions, and he said it's like the UPS trucks, the United Parcel Service, and they come and deliver packages to your door. Well, the IPS, the Interdimensional Parcel Service, works exactly the same way. Sorry for that sound going off in the back. That's my
Can't even
phone.
hear it.
The packages are delivered to your door. You just have to open the door and sign for them in order to receive the messages that are coming. Actually, the open the door and sign for them just came to me just now. You have to open the door by opening a conduit, by doing meditation and studying and practicing this to open the door. And signing for it is, I swear Danny's telling me this right now, is making a commitment. I am committed to believing that this is possible. I am committed to signing on the line and putting my name and my life and my work and reputation on the line for my belief in this process.
Beautiful.
And you're witnessing this live, folks. I never said those words before. That just came. So that's what the IPS is. And I forgot what the second part. Oh,
Well, it was just how like today. I know it's
How it
changed. How
changes.
today do you communicate with Danny, or just how did you do it at the beginning? Whichever one you want to tell us.
well, this is interesting because this is actually the topic of my next book that just came out, Turning the Corner on Grief Street, talking to all the bereaved people who are suffering so much and wanting communication. Just like we were talking earlier about the pain of life and humanity opens a door to wisdom, the pain of grief opens your heart to interdimensional communication. The wound in your heart is not a wound, it is an opening. And this is a different way of perceiving pain. And this is kind of like what embracing death is as well. If we can see these experiences
Oh, shit.
as gifts from the divine to open us up to all that is out there trying to
Oh,
come
shit,
to us,
man.
trying to be
Go
delivered by the IPS onto our doorstep, everything changes. Our pain is transformed. And so when we're open to this, communication comes easily. It comes to everybody. Sometimes it comes in dreams. Sometimes, we've all heard the person, mom's favorite bird was a red bluebird, and the red bluebird is now coming to my
She said
window
a red
after Mom
bluebird.
died. I mean, we hear this all the time.
Right.
But people don't sign on the dotted line and make that commitment to believing that's real. They think it's a coincidence. So they think they're not receiving messages.
Yeah.
And the favorite song comes on the radio. There's a million of these little things. These are the messages. And it's up to us to make the commitment to completely believing it. The more you believe it, the more clearly it comes. Now, communication changes over time. This is what I'm going to be teaching at the Afterlife conferences when channeling changes. My communication with Danny is nothing like it used to be because he's gone on to do his further work on the other side. And he's not as close to me as he once was. He kind of operates in the background. He jumps in and gives me something like he just did a minute ago. But for the most part, he's off doing his thing. And I'm here launched on my path. He was very close to me. He helped me write these books. He helped me go to school and start the Afterlife conference. But he's like a teacher. And a teacher, if you're a teacher in a classroom with third grade kids, you go up to them, you show them how to do the math problem, and then you walk away. Go help some other kids, and you let that kid figure it out. That's what Danny is doing with me now. And our relationships with our dead people change over time, just like our relationships with live people do.
Yeah. That's, it was interesting. We've had Paul Selig was on one time and he was channeling for us, and but I even find, with my father, when I was writing my book, I mean, there was things that were coming out onto the paper that, I felt the same way. Like, okay, this is not me. I don't know, and I've never claimed to be channeling anyone, including my father. But there's no question in my mind that someone, and I believe it was him, was helping me to write that book. There's just certain things that come out, and I love that. I love that you're chatting, and all of a sudden, whoop, there's Danny. Let me make sure you get this right, Mom. Say it this way. Beautiful. And I think so many of us do that, and we don't even know we're doing it. I think there's a lot of people who are channeling a lot of things. Their artwork, their writing, their music, whatever it may be, or just when they're having a conversation with somebody. How many of us, and I'm really talking to the audience here, how many times have you sort of walked away from a conversation, given someone some advice, and thought, Where did that come from? I don't even know. That was good advice. I don't even know where that came from, right? And that's all channeling. Would you not define it as that?
Absolutely. We're all channeling all the time. And the word channeling is a great word because if you think of what a channel is, it's, I think of it in terms of like a river or irrigation channel. It's a connection from point A to point B. And when we're here on Earth, and I think I talk about it in that book, it's not like we come from source and then get cut off completely and are here all alone. We're like little children at preschool, and this is the school, and the teachers have the phone number of mom and dad at home in case we need them. We're always connected. It's always on. It's like a television. When your TV's turned off, the signals are still bouncing around or coming through the cable or through the broadcast frequencies, and you just have your TV off. But it's still live. It's still always there, and we're always part of it. Some of us can slam that conduit shut if we want to. Anger, blame, really limiting religious beliefs, a lot of things can close that down. And so not all of us are open to it, but it's always there if we want it. And the interesting thing about the religious beliefs that tell people you're not supposed to do this or you're not able to do it is if you study the Bible, everybody did it.
Yeah.
It was the most natural thing in the world. It wasn't even, it's mostly the prophets and the sages, but there's a story in the Old Testament where even a donkey is talking to angels.
Hey, there you go.
So, they're everywhere.
If the donkey
We're
can
part
do
of
it.
it.
Yeah, you actually saying, I can't find it. I wish I could. It was fairly early on, and you talk about, it's amazing how there are so many people in this world who believe, in life after death, and yet it's hard for them to make the leap into believing that we can communicate with those on the other side. It's funny how we have these different limitations within our belief systems sometimes, where we can believe one thing but we can't believe in another thing, and that's certainly one of them. So many people, and I know a lot of, I think if they're watching Afterlife TV, most people believe in the afterlife, and yet some people draw the line. When I have a medium on, they have an issue with it because they just can't believe that people are able to do such a thing. And I think that probably comes from religion. Do you not?
Absolutely.
think,
I was just going
like,
to say that's a uniquely Western.
My thing is like with the whole talking to people that passed away, I think it's like, for just lack of a better word, like, I think you just a bitch. I think you're like just a really weak person if like somebody physically has just, left this world and you're like desperately holding on to them. You're like, in real life, you're like, you don't know what to do with yourself. You're emotionally a wreck. Like, you're really weak. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you're kind of like putting that person's absence over source. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, cool, but it's like you're supposed to celebrate, the moments you had with that person and let them go, just like what you're supposed to do with regular people. You know what I mean? In your life, when you break up with somebody, like, I dated my first for like almost 4 years, dated another chick almost 9 years, dated another chick 1 year. And it's like, but when the relationship is over, you have to let that person fucking go. You can't just be a miserable wreck, don't know what to do with yourself. It don't, like, no. That's just being spiritually immature and honestly being selfish. So I've never personally understood that, like, how people are just like desperately trying to hold on to somebody that if you really loved them, if you really gave a fuck about them, you'd be cheering for them to transcend, because you know how fucked up and retarded it is down here. Like, that's why when I watched my fucking grandmother die. I was right there watching her die every day. You don't think that had an effect on me as well? It's times where, days I'd be like, God, can you just kill her?
can you just go ahead and let her die? Because who wants to be in all of this pain every single day? You know what I mean? Like, can you just go ahead and let her go? Because, like, from a logical point of view, who wants to be in pain every day like that? You know what I mean? And then when she was gone, I let her go. That was it. It's as simple as that. You know? I don't really fuck with people like that. I really don't. I can't mess with people that's like constantly fucking worried about somebody that's like, you don't love that person, bro. You don't even know what love is if you're trying to hold a soul back from reconnecting with source for real, for real. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? You know? Like, oh, it's just like, it's like motherfuckers be acting like babies, man. You know, I was talking to this one girl, man, and she's just like, we was cool, relationship was cool, and then like her uncle died or some shit. And then she just turned into a completely different person. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And this is why, bro, they just don't. Nobody's taught how to be emotionally intelligent. Nobody's taught how to properly detach. Like, you know what I mean? You know, from this physical ass world. Like, nobody's taught anything that matters. Everybody's just winging it. Everybody's just going with the flow and shit like that. It don't work like that. It don't work like that, man. And that's why people be so, as soon as something happens in their life and it, you know what I mean, it's a little bit of trauma, it's like these people just, you know, like just turn into completely different fucking people, man.
Thing. It's a uniquely Judeo-Christian thing. If you look at other cultures, for example, China, when somebody dies, they build an altar to the ancestors and they leave it up in their house for a year and they put little flowers and things for the dead people to still be present in the home. In Africa, I just spent a week at an African grieving ritual. That was amazing. And they're always talking to the ancestors. It's called ancestor worship, but the ancestors are on the other side. So that's what they're talking about.
Like, that don't even sound right.
The ancestors to be with them in their prayers or to help them in their work or whatever. Most other cultures completely take this for granted. And it's really interesting if you look at the Day of the Dead in Mexico, which is a Catholic culture and is based on a Catholic tradition, but it's mixed in with the native indigenous culture there. They completely believe this. On one day of the year, the veil is thin and the dead people come and they hang out in the village and they stay for 24 hours and you give them food. That's the tradition of kids going door to door dressed like skeletons getting candy comes from. It represents the visiting of the dead people. So this is widely believed.
Yeah.
I think the majority of people on Earth do believe in this kind of communication.
Yeah.
And the rest are just afraid to admit that they do.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. That's right. If you don't mind, I'm going to read a little passage from your book here.
Sure.
It's paragraph 2. So I didn't even get too far before I got excited about something. I'm going to read this because I think it's awesome and it'll take us maybe in a little bit new direction. But I've spent a lifetime studying metaphysics and spirituality, and I believe unequivocally that there are no good or bad experiences, only the soul's constant craving for growth and expansion. In this view, illness and death are not experiences to be avoided, but to be embraced with gratitude for the shifting of perceptions and gifts of growth they provide. In a state of gratitude at this level, we accept every experience with love because we recognize it as one of our soul's creations. Even something as painful as the death of a child can be seen as part of a flawless pattern of perfection that moves the family and the entire soul group forward in unexpected ways. You know, for someone who has lost a child to be able to write that shows that you have wisdom beyond your age, really. I mean, you know what I mean? This is lifetimes of wisdom that you brought in with you. And here you are, so many other lifetimes preparing you for this. And I just think that's the leap of understanding that we're hoping for people, is it not?
Yes, and again, that whole speech, is about the pain of grief. And that's why the next book that I wrote is called Turning the Corner on Grief Street, because that's the message I wanted to put across to so many people who are grieving, especially if they had a child die, that from the view from space, from the 30,000 foot view, or whatever the expression is, there are no bad experiences. And when I'm teaching this in a workshop, someone will inevitably raise their hand and say, well, what about Hitler? I always get that
No,
question.
I know.
Now listen to this.
So, Hitler volunteered for a very difficult job for human consciousness. He volunteered to be the bad guy.
Listen to this. She said Hitler volunteered for a very difficult job. He volunteered to be the bad guy to raise human consciousness. How crazy is that if that's true? If motherfucking Hitler was like, yo, if motherfucking Hitler was like, yo, I gotta help y'all. I gotta help y'all out, man. Because they basically, Hitler is like the most evil person in human history, is what they say,
So that we could all wake up one notch further. And another thing that I teach, I think it's also in that book, is about the kaleidoscope. That if you look at everything in the universe like it's on a kaleidoscope, and every event that happens, a plane crash, a Holocaust, a tsunami, a butterfly landing on a plant, it's just click, one turn of the kaleidoscope. All the little pieces fall apart and get put back together in a different way. The pieces are not separate. They appear to be separate, but they're contained in one unified space. That's how everything in the universe works. So when we back off and we look at it like that, a death, a political uprising, an earthquake, 1 million people die, a plague, whatever you got, it's just to turn on the kaleidoscope. And the soul is not attached to the form that life takes on earth, because it recognizes that it's all about the turning of the kaleidoscope. And this is useful teaching when helping people work through trauma, where they're so attached to the bad thing that happened to them. And that's when it gets into forgiveness. Forgiveness really just means the releasing of attachment to the experience, the releasing of obsession with the experience. It has nothing to do with the other person, the perpetrator.
Incredible. You talk about Hitler and all the people who died at the hands of Hitler. Are these is there a word for those types? Those people, or are they just part of the puzzle? How's that work? I mean,
Danny calls them unconditional volunteers.
that's what I wondered.
Unconditional.
I have that here as one of the questions. I love it.
Unconditional volunteers. So all the people that died throughout slavery, Holocaust, whatever the fuck, genocide, all the people that's dying right now, Palestinians, whatever, unconditional volunteer. What the fuck did you say?
That word for those types, those people, or are they just part of the puzzle? How's that work? I mean,
Danny calls them unconditional volunteers.
Unconditional volunteers.
I have that here as one of the questions.
That's
I love
crazy.
that. Explain that a little bit.
Well, first of all, we're all volunteering to sponsor the growth of each other on a soul level. Just look, using Danny for an example. Here comes this kid with this terrible disease. He was in diapers at 16. Why would somebody choose a body like that? And in his case, it was because we were buddies up there in the inner life, sitting around the planning table. And apparently I said, well, I'm going to be a spiritual teacher in my next incarnation. And he said, okay, I can help you with that. And we slap five and to earth we go. I think we all do that for each other. And sometimes we come just to do that. We come to earth. And I think where you've got millions of people who die under a political regime, as a group, they have volunteered for that experience to support the growth of the collective. because those souls are so advanced that they recognize that it is a collective. Now, once we make this decision while we're planning our incarnations, it's no big deal to say, I'm going to come to Earth and I'm going to, be in a concentration camp.
Yeah.
Once you get to Earth and you're there, of course you forget the view you had when you were not in a body, and it's the worst horrible thing you can imagine.
Yeah.
We forget. There is that, disconnect that happens. If we remembered life between incarnations, we'd never want to incarnate.
Facts.
We'd never want to be here. We'd want to go back all the time.
Facts.
Yeah, right.
Facts.
And
Unconditional
so, and what do you
volunteers
say
is
to
crazy.
to those people who try to argue this point? Well, there's no way I would ever choose that. I mean, obviously, how do you answer those people? There's no way I would ever.
There's
do
no
that
way
to
your
myself.
ego would ever choose that. There's no way your body, Jane Doe, living in New Jersey, would ever choose that. But the soul of Jane Doe is not the same as the personality. The soul has a whole different list of requirements, if you will. Do you remember in the 1970s, The Boy in the Bubble?
Yeah.
I saw a news story about him in 1973, and he was this kid who had to live in an isolation room because he had an immune disease.
Bubble Boy.
And I asked myself, even then, 40 years ago, why would somebody be in that body? And that was when I started to really channel, because I instantly got the answer, which is, oh, well, he volunteered so that you could be sitting here watching him on TV right now and ask this question and get this information and be talking about it with Bob Olson 40 years later.
Yeah.
It's all connected. It's all the kaleidoscope. Why did that kid come into Earth in that body? Somehow, on some level, he chose it.
Yeah.
It's not random and it's not accidental.
That's right. Well, let's expand upon that. Let's see, on page 12. Still haven't got very far into the book here. Page 12, you write, I know a man whose son died in a train collision at age 16. The boy was a talented actor and compassionate animal activist. The father laments that his son died before he could fulfill his potential in these areas and sees his son's death as the tragic waste of a life that could have contributed so much to the world. I hear this a lot about lost potential when young people die, and I think you got a great, a great message for them. And what would that be?
Well, there is no such thing as lost potential. Those young people who died are contributing even more from the other side. That particular man you're talking about wrote a book. He visited a medium and had numerous sessions talking to his son, and he wrote a book channeled through that medium from his son. So he now knows that his son is continuing to contribute. And when a child dies, if the family is doing their spiritual work and paying attention and doing their healing work, they will be raised up, so to speak, and their lives will change, and that soul of that child is still contributing by the changes that he's helping the parents to make. But it all depends how you look at it. I see a lot of parents who are still angry, who have shut down their lives, who have shut down their growth, who have decided that God is punishing them, and that's just where they want to live. And they're not seeing that they have an opportunity to shift their perceptions. Pain has a purpose, and the purpose is to shift our perceptions. And if you don't let that happen, you're going to just be stuck in pain.
And while that pain is always a great catalyst for growth, my understanding of the soul is that if that's where the people want to stay, that's an experience as well, and the soul's okay with that too, right?
Absolutely, because we can't judge it, so the family that's stuck in anger and bitterness, if they reach out for help, if they come to me for counseling, I will do what I can to help them, but I will also just release them to their path and let them be where they are. It's so frustrating to hear people say, how can I help so-and-so?
Yeah.
And my answer is,
You can't.
you can't. You can present whatever information you have,
Right.
you can be there with love, you can listen, but then you walk away and you let go.
Right.
And our dead people do that with us too, which is why that's why Danny's not breathing down my neck all the time.
Right.
He's presented what he has to present. Now he's going on and doing other things and leaving me to work with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what they're all doing, because we're all still connected.
Yeah, and right, exactly. And I think, serving as an example is really the best thing anybody can do. I've not lost a child. I can do what what I can, based on my investigation in the afterlife, to pass it on.
All right. I'm about to go to bed. Appreciate everybody chiming in on the conversation. Maybe we'll pick this up. You thought that was her son she was talking to? A lot of people say they're fucking demons. And that's another thing. I'm like, when somebody passes on, let them be. When somebody break up with you in real life and they're still alive, let them be. We got people in our lives that are fucking ghosts to us, that are dead to us. Let them be, So, who knows? But, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll pick this up tomorrow. It's only like 20 minutes left for this interview, but she breaks down some more stuff that I thought was interesting. Her name is Terry Daniel, Terri Daniel, if you want to check her out. She once again, the whole point of these videos is to try to hack away at your paradigm and try to learn new perspectives and gain new perceptions about whatever indoctrination we already have. That's really what this shit is about. Because it's just we're staring at the same shit, but you could just look at it from a different way and just something just sparks and you like, oh shit, that's what this whole thing is about. We all looking at this shit. We all looking at this world that we live in, and we're all looking at the same shit. But it's just sometimes a new perspective will be put on the table and it can unlock something in your paradigm. Let's have a real conversation, man. So fuck everybody and just worry about your worry about leveling up your soul, man. Catch y'all in the next one. Salute.